Today we're going to cover how hope is possibly cock-blocking your entire life. One very important lesson from a coaching call. But first, hey legend, I'm Mike Campbell. I'm the anti-nice guy men's coach. I help everyday nice guys in building self-worth, self-respect, and a strong, solid sense of security so you can get more from life, love, and the everyday. And today I'm going to talk about a coaching call with a client of mine, Steve, and how hope was just coming in and ruining everything and what you can do about it. So stick around to the end. I'll talk through the solutions that I took Steve through. So hope. Hope's a good thing, right? But then you might have heard the quote, it's the hope that kills you. Here's one of the ways in which Steve, my client, was using hope, creating so much wriggle room in his life, and how you might be doing it too, because I've seen this and heard this in many, many men, especially nice guys. Now, the context for how this was showing up in Steve's life, remember, the specific examples that I use with the clients that we're talking about on calls, they might not be your example, but we'll always work to expand it out so it fits your own context of your own life. Now, this was an example for Steve where his 40th birthday is coming up this weekend. And we're not here to demonize, even comment on if alcohol at all. You've got your own journey, your own story with alcohol, but use alcohol there as something that perhaps you might be wanting to change or shift or work on your relationship with. He's got a lot of his old friends coming to where he lives. He lives in a bit of a more remote place than where all of his old friends are. And he knows that some of them are going to be bringing their old mentality and their old approach to life. And in a really quick summary, that was drinking a lot of piss, getting smashed, getting shit-faced. And he's not really that dude anymore. He doesn't really want to do that. And it's not as though he's teetotaling, he's sober, he wants to give up on alcohol. He enjoys a bit of alcohol. He enjoys the taste of this. He enjoys, having a whiskey with his friend, all these different types of things. Again, no one's here to say alcohol is good or bad or what you should do with it. You've got your own journey there. But for him, he's realized and he said, I don't want to have a massive weekend. I said, what do you want? A little clue here. He said, I don't want to get blotto. If you're not from around these parts, I don't want to get hammered, shit-faced. So where he absolutely showed up some of his old patterns was this line. I don't want to get blotto, and so I'm just going to go out and just hope that it goes okay. And it's that word hope there that just instantly told me, if we don't address this and he doesn't look at this more carefully and more closely, he's going to have a big weekend and he's going to feel regret based on what he's talking about right now. And this is where hope will cockblock us, because hope here is hopeless. Hope in that context and how we often use it, I just hope it goes okay, I hope it'll be all right, is what I'm essentially saying is I don't want to make a decision and set myself specific targets and own it, therefore be responsible for my behaviors and my choices. So I'm just going to hope that it goes well. So you can see I'm leaving all of this wriggle room. I'm not wanting to make the decision for myself. Essentially, what he's saying in this situation is, I'm going to show up with all the excitement that I have and just hope that the world doesn't transpire to pull me into it, that my friends don't be an influence on me, that I therefore don't have to kind of confront myself, meet myself, and set some goddamn boundaries. Again, this might not be drinking for you. This could be anything. I'm going to get to hope I get to the gym later on. It's like, how disempowering is that? I hope whatever it is, right? Instead of choosing it. So this was the invitation to Steve in this situation. Instead of using hope, which is basically setting you up to fail, because it's saying, I don't want to choose what I want. I don't want to choose success in this moment. I'm just going to hope that everything falls magically into place so that it just happens for me. And then I didn't have to make a choice. This is a way that men will wriggle out of commitment. Where I am not specific with my commitments, I am allowing for wriggle room so that I can wriggle out of it. Doesn't matter what we're talking about here. Right? If I said to you, I'm going to run a marathon this year, I might. But because there's no specificity apart from this year, there's a lot of wiggle room. If I said to you, I'm going to run a marathon on August the 15th, whew, very specific, no room for interpretation, no wriggle room there. And so that's the invitation that we gave for Steve in this moment. Instead of going, I don't want to get blotto and I hope it works out well, state, what is the kind of experience that I want to have? And that might be enjoying a few drinks with these friends, etc., etc., etc. Then I get to ask myself, okay, so what ingredients are needed for that experience? And if there is alcohol involved, how much is enough? Very important question when we're diving into anything. Food, movement, work, Doesn't matter what it is. How much is enough? If this is the experience I want, what is part of that? What are the ingredients? And then how much of those things do I need? Otherwise, you might have experienced this yourself. When we use hope, the world will transpire to pull us into it because we have no boundaries. We're just letting the world decide for us. And then we get surprised and annoyed at ourselves. Why did I end up in that same situation that I always end up? Because I was on the back foot and I wasn't choosing for myself. So this is where you can start to use this for yourself. Instead of ending up in disappointment by setting that up, be specific with your commitments. Choose, what do I want? What's the experience that I want to have? What are the ingredients involved in that? One of the ingredients, by the way, as it is for Steve, and this is the big thing that we talked about, is not keeping it to himself, but outing it, making it public, not to everyone necessarily, but where appropriate. And so in the world of our Zeus in a circle, it's with the men, with the other teammates in there. This is what my intentions are. This is my plan for the weekend. This is how many drinks I'm going to have in this context at my 40th. Can you hold me accountable to it? As soon as he shares it externally, there's a different element to it. And he has men in his corner, his brother's keeper. Look at the message here, be your brother's keeper. Those men will hold him to that because it's something that he set for himself. Again, alcohol is not the thing here. It's not the issue we're talking about. It's about setting your intentions, being true to your word, holding integrity, and then being accountable to that. Plenty in there. I'm sure this might resonate for you. Let me know if this speaks to you, both the alcohol example, any of your own examples where you've used the word hope. Right? I'll see how it goes. I hope it'll work out for me. And just reflect on how disempowering that is. And then what actually asks of us to step up into being specific and claiming what we want. There's growth in that alone. And that can happen in the big things in life and the small ones. This has been today's Coaching Corner, a lesson from a coaching call with a client of mine. I trust that you value this, get something from this. Remember to pass this on to a man that you think might benefit from it, that might enjoy it, make use of it. Click like, subscribe, hit the little bell to make sure you get notifications when these pop up. If you want to get your free resource on how to figure out if being too nice is costing you, drop below and we will pass that along to you. All right? Until next time.